When grocery prices are high and my money is low, I like to pull out my favorite stretch meals. You know, those meals that can feed your family leftovers for days. Today I'm going to show you how I make my budget stretch by showing you 3 budget-friendly meals. I'm going to be cooking red beans and rice, lentil soup, and baked ziti. So if you're trying to save money and cut your grocery bill down and make dinner stretch without sacrificing flavor, you are in the right place. First up, we're making flavor-packed red beans and rice, and here are all of the ingredients that I will be using. Now listen, this isn't your plain, boring beans and rice situation. We're building layers of flavor with budget-friendly seasonings that take this from basic to bold. This dish is affordable, hearty, and perfect when you're trying to feed your family without breaking the bank. You know, I didn't always appreciate red beans and rice like I do now. Back then when things were really tight, and I'm talking digging under the couch cushions tight, this dish saved us more times than I can count. 3 cans of beans, a scoop of rice, some meat, veggies, and good seasoning. This recipe will feed your whole family and still have leftovers for days to come. I used to think it was just a struggle meal, but now it's a smart meal. It's protein packed, full of fiber, and really affordable. You can stretch it for days, freeze it if you need to, and it's just as good when you warm it up. Once you hit it with the right spices and a little smoked sausage, your family will be asking for seconds and thirds. Now, I could have soaked a bag of dry beans overnight, and trust me, that's the cheaper route. And I've done it plenty of times when I had the time, but today, I needed dinner to come together quickly. That's why I grabbed the canned beans. Still affordable, still delicious, and way less prep. Sometimes saving your peace is just as valuable as saving your money. And if that means shaving off a few hours in the kitchen, then I'm all for it. You know, I look at it like this. You've been pouring from your cup all day, cleaning, cooking, making sure everybody's fed, loved, and taken care of. And somewhere in between folding laundry and helping with homework, you forgot about you. I know how hard it is to make time for yourself when the house never stops and everyone needs something. But let me remind you, your needs matter too. So if you can shave time off cooking, do it. Fill your own cup, because when you're running on empty, everybody feels it. But when you pour into yourself even a little, you show up stronger for everyone else. You're not selfish for needing space. You're human and you deserve it. In under 30 minutes, we've got a warm, hearty bowl of red beans and rice. It's budget friendly, belly filling, and perfect for busy nights when you still want to put something real on the table. This is the kind of meal that stretches your groceries and satisfies your soul. Next up is lentil soup. Now, the first time I made this soup, I surprised myself at how good it was. It's hearty, it's flavorful, and surprisingly comforting. But fun fact about lentils. Lentils are packed with fiber, protein, and iron, and they're one of the cheapest pantry items you can buy, which means it is great for your stockpile. Lentil soup fills you up, stretches for days, and it doesn't break the budget. Don't knock it until you try it. Trust me on this one. Now, to make this soup, you don't need a whole lot, just the basics. And if you're missing an ingredient, I have swap options for that too. Let's go over the ingredients together. I'm going to be using 1 16-ounce bag of lentils, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 8 cups of chicken or beef broth. Now, I'm using beef because that's the flavor that I'm going for since I'm not using meat. But if you don't have either one, you can use water and bouillon cubes to save money. You'll also need 1 large onion, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, 4 celery stalks, 3 carrots, a few handfuls of kale or spinach. It could be fresh or frozen, either works fine. And for the spices, you'll need black pepper, salt, chili powder, smoked paprika, cumin, coriander, and bay leaves. Before we get started, let's take a minute to sort through these lentils. Trust me, it's worth the few extra seconds. Sometimes small stones or debris can sneak into the bag, and we definitely don't want any crunchy surprises in our soup. That would create a whole new set of issues for the dentist. Sorting the lentils ensures that they cook evenly and that we only have the good stuff in our bowl. Plus, it's just a good habit to get into. A little bit of extra care goes a long way. One of the family members suggested that I use a cookie sheet when I sort through the lentils, and I thought that was such a brilliant idea. It made the process so much easier. I love when y'all drop tips like these in the comments. Your feedback not only helps me, but everyone watching, so keep those tips coming in the comment section. Soaking your lentils overnight can really make a difference. I like to cover mine in water and add just a splash of apple cider vinegar. Now, that vinegar, it's not for flavor. It actually helps break down the phytic acid in the lentils, which can make them easier to digest and help your body to absorb more nutrients. It's an optional step. You do not have to let your lentils soak overnight. You can totally cook lentils straight from the dry bag. But if your stomach ever felt after eating beans, try soaking them. Your gut will thank you. I thoroughly cleaned the vegetables to remove any dirt or residue by filling my bowls with water, a splash of white vinegar, and a sprinkle of baking soda. Then I let them soak for about 15 to 20 minutes. That helps get rid of dirt, pesticides, and whatever they've picked up on the journey from the farm to the grocery shelf. Once they were nice and clean, I diced everything up using my handheld dicer, which, by the way, has been one of my favorite little kitchen tools. Now, one thing I always like to do when I'm cooking is organize my ingredients into little bowls. Not because I'm trying to be fancy, but because it keeps me from running around the kitchen like a mad woman. It helps me stay focused, cook faster, and avoid forgetting anything. Trust me, when dinner time hits and folks are hungry, you do not want to realize you left out an ingredient. First, I'm going to saute these onions in a little oil until they turn translucent and soft. Once they're just right, I'll toss in the garlic. Now listen, garlic cooks fast, and if it burns, child, you will have to start all the way over. And ain't nobody got time for that. So keep that heat nice and low and stir constantly. I wish y'all could smell this kitchen right now. It's giving cozy, comfort, Sunday soul food vibes. It smells so good in here, y'all. Now, while that's cooking, let's talk real quick about lentils because it doesn't get enough credit. Lentils are packed with protein and fiber, and they're one of the most budget-friendly pantry staples you can buy. We're talking under $2 for a whole bag that stretches across multiple meals. Plus, they're rich in iron, folate, and magnesium. All the good stuff that helps keep energy up, especially when you're constantly on the go like most of us are. And when times are tight, lentil soup is that dish that hugs you from the inside out. Nourishing, filling, and full of flavor without breaking the bank. You'll notice I didn't add any salt or pepper yet, and that's on purpose. When you're making soups or stews that simmer for a while, it's best to wait until the end to season with salt and pepper. And the reason why is because as the liquid reduces, the flavors concentrate, and if you add salt too early, you could end up with soup that's way too salty. So we season to taste at the end. The soup has been simmering low and slow for about 30 minutes now, and the kitchen smells amazing. This is when I step back, let the aroma sink in, and fish out those bay leaves. Now let me tell you real quick why bay leaves are so good for soups. You ever taste a soup that just feels flat? Like it's missing that something but you just can't put your finger on it? That's where bay leaves come in. They add this subtle depth, a little woodsy, a little herbal that builds flavor as the soup cooks. You don't always notice it, but leave it out and something just feels off. Now for the greens, I dropped in the kale during the last 15 minutes of cooking. It doesn't take long at all to soften up and blend in with the rest of the flavors. So total cooking time for this lentil soup is about 40 to 45 minutes on a gentle simmer. And y'all, I really had a moment. I was sitting there tasting the soup like something is missing. Have you ever had that moment where you know what you cooked, but it just ain't giving like it did the last time? Then it hit me. I forgot the beef bouillon. That one little scoop makes a huge difference. The beef broth alone wasn't enough. It needed that concentrated flavor to really bring it home. I only added a little bit because beef bouillon tends to be salty. Thankfully, I only used about a half teaspoon of salt earlier, so the soup was safe from any threat of being overly salty. And just like that, all was right in the world again. Beef bouillon is an ingredient that I added outside of the recipe that I follow. It's my own special touch to give it that beef flavor. Next up on our list of cheap meals that really stretch is a classic baked ziti. This meal is cozy, is hearty, and it lasts for days. I've made this dish with penne pasta, elbow macaroni, even rotini when that's all I had, and it still turned out delicious. And besides, ziti and penne are very similar, but remember, the soul of this dish lives in the flavor and the cheesy bubbling finish, not the noodle. So it doesn't matter what type of noodle you use, any kind will work. Here are all of the ingredients that I will be using. Everything you see here cost me about $6. And depending on how you portion it, this meal can stretch for days. It's really perfect for those days when payday feels so far away. Now let's talk about the ingredients real quick, because this is where the savings come in. When it comes to the ziti pasta, if ziti is not on sale, grab a box of penne or even elbow macaroni. Pasta is pasta. Your sauce won't judge. I always check the unit price on the shelf tag to see which brand is giving me the most ounces for the fewest coins. Now, pork sausage can be a little pricey, so here's what I do when I'm not shopping at Jovi's Smart Shop, which is the cheapest grocery store in my area. I look for the big packs and then I divide it up when I get home, or I go for ground turkey. It's cheaper, still flavorful, and stretches just as far, especially with the right seasoning. When it comes to the spaghetti sauce, don't let the labels fool you. Sometimes the off-brand is just as good as the fancy jars. And if you find some on sale, grab a few jars or cans, because sauce does not go bad overnight. And when it comes to garlic and onions, these two are small but mighty. You can usually grab a whole bag of onions for the price of one fancy Starbucks coffee. And garlic at my local grocery store is like 7 bulbs for $1. One bulb goes a long way. Dice them up, toss them in your pan with the sausage, and boom, flavor unlocked without spending extra. This is one thing I do want you to remember. Budget meals don't mean boring meals. It's all about shopping smart, being flexible, and working with what you've got. Baked ziti is proof that you can stretch a little into a lot. Now let me tell you what I should have done when it came to the cheese, but y'all know how it goes. Sometimes you just gotta make do with what's already in your fridge. I had a block of mozzarella and a bag of Kobe Jack, so I mixed them together. Not what I originally planned, but hey, it worked. Now if I had thought ahead, I would have grabbed 2 blocks of mozzarella and shredded them myself, because it melts better, tastes richer, and stretches further for the price. But listen, when you're trying to feed a family and avoid another trip to the store, you get creative real quick. So this went into the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Just enough time for everything to bubble up, come together, and fill the whole house with that smell that has everybody wandering into the kitchen asking, is it ready yet? And just like that, we've made 3 budget-friendly meals that stretch. Red beans and rice, hearty lentil soup, and baked ziti made with love. These aren't just recipes, these are survival meals that will feed your family without draining your wallet. And in today's economy, we need all the help we can to get through these high grocery prices. So whether you're cooking for 5, 10, 15, 20, or you just trying to make it through the week, these dishes prove that you can eat well when you are on a tight budget. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps this video get out to people who are just trying to feed their families and make ends meet. Now, drop a comment down below. Let me know which meal are you going to try. And also, what budget-friendly meals do you go to? Leave the recipe down below. I may give it a try. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe for more cheap meals that stretch, grocery saving tips, and real life in the kitchen moments. And hey, if you know someone who's trying to save money or make ends meet or make meals that stretch, go ahead and share this video with them. We are all trying to figure this out one meal at a time. I hope you all have a blessed day. Take care, and I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.